Okay, what's going on, world? This is Derek Dunn. I have the pristine privilege of interviewing legendary musician Stokley Williams, lead singer of the band Mint Condition. How are you doing today, sir?
I'm great. How you feeling?
Blessed, brother. Just, dealing with this coronavirus situation, but can't complain. I'm breathing, I'm walking, so all is well. I want to thank you for taking the time to talk to me about your career. I'm a big fan, going all the way back to the first Mint album, up to your solo stuff, the stuff you've done with MCs, just huge fan. I mean, I think Mint Condition is not a group. You guys are a band, and I will argue anybody down otherwise who tries to pigeonhole you guys in just being an R&B group. I'm like, nah, Mint Condition is a band, and you really got to see them live to see what them brothers can do, because I'll put them against any band currently that's doing music, and men will just slay them boys because it's a band. And, they can all play an instrument. They can all, sing. Stokley can get up there and dance, go out in the audience, take a bite of chicken, and then come back to the audience, come back on stage without breaking a sweat. So, them boys are bad. Like, nobody comes close to the condition. All right, so my first question is, sir, when did you get your start in music?
When did I get started? I got started many years ago when I was really young, playing percussion, basically, African dance troops, and musicians there just kept going. My parents saw a talent in me very early, and they definitely tried to encourage me, and they had some friends around, and just brought me around these people who were musicians and artists, and I just kind of kept going from there. One thing led to another. And then just exposure to all that stuff just let me just keep going.
Nice. And how was the group Mint Condition actually formed?
Basically, out of high school, St. Paul Central High was something called the Magnet Arts High School, and it was not unlike the LaGuardia Center for the Arts, Performing Arts. A lot of different, acting there, steel drum class, a recording studio, a lot of different things going on. So basically, there. And Rick had came up from Chicago at the time because a lot of stuff was going on in Minneapolis, the whole Prince craze and all of the offspring groups that he produced and was affiliated with. He brought a lot of attention to Minneapolis, St. Paul. So he came up and, we saw him and, everybody just kind of kept it moving, man, from high school, and just it was just an amazing chemistry at that time. So we just kept moving. That was the crew. That was the clique. Yeah.
Nice. How did you all link up with Jimmy Jam and Terry Lewis for the first album?
First album, Meant to Be Meant. That was at a place called First Avenue. It was the place that the movie Purple Rain made that place famous. Yeah, if you didn't know, Prince's Purple Rain. And we've been doing a lot of different showcases around town because we didn't do a lot of, we weren't a cover band, so our shows were limited to, a lot of, showcases and outside events and that kind of thing. So they saw us, and we invited many different people. We invited the Prince camp out. We invited the Flight Time camp out. And MCA Records happened to be in the house. And after that gig, we first know to put around eyes. They were like, yeah, man, y'all got it. So after that, we were about 2 weeks in a meeting inside of Flight Time, the new Flight Time that Janet had helped to build, that they'd had so much success with her and all the other groups, SOS, and, their catalog is just endless. So, we're in a meeting with them, and then next thing you know, that one thing led to another,
Oh, so you guys have always been down with, Princeton, because, that Minneapolis sound is just, it's so unique, and, I don't think it's ever been duplicated. It's sound in its own, and, it comes across good, live. It's like it's meant to be, heard live. Pardon the pun.
Absolutely. It's a vibe. It's not just a sound. It's an energy, a vibe, a lifestyle. Not unlike a lot of other different styles of music. Even today, like trap has its own vibe, swag, and way you walk and way the way that it is. So it was the same way with the Prince stuff, and we just riding the coattails of that energy and then making it our own, and then eventually branching off into making our own brand of who we what you know.
So on the first album, was that all you guys handling all the production and the songwriting, or did Jimmy and Terry do some of the songwriting?
All songs written, produced, performed, arranged by Mint. Yeah, since day one. That's what they saw in us. That was really rich and just great. They loved that. They come from a band themselves, and within the time. So they understood being able to create and wanting to have that voice, having your own voice, I should say. Yeah.
Cool. Yeah. I mean, I thought that Jimmy and Terry would have, given you guys a song or two or nothing, but they gave you guys full creative control. That's dope.
Well, that was one of the things we went in there and said, look, we want to produce the whole, we want to produce at least half the album. So, well, y'all can do the whole thing, It's right. We're like, okay. Plus they had so much work at that time. They were, and they had staff writers and all that kind of stuff. Once you get that big, you can't do everything. So you need help. As great as they are, that's just how the companies run after a while. They get so big. It's like there's only two of them. You got to reach some tentacles, and you have to hire some other talented people. And they're just trying to spread it around at that point too. There's a lot of folks who were talented around here in the Twin Cities, and they just let us do our thing. They knew we had a sound. They signed us primarily just off the live thing because studio, you can recreate that.
Yeah.
Any kind of way. So you can make, someone who's not talented sound talented, but the telltale sign is live. So that's primarily why they signed. It's just the studio's easy. They can learn that, and plus we already had some prior experience in, coming from high school. Yeah, that was just a bigger studio, bigger production and everything that we had at our hands.
What's the backstory to Pretty Brown Eyes? Or is that just a song you guys wrote?
The backstory was that developed out of rehearsal, a lot of a jam session, basically. And I started singing the melody, singing this Pretty Brown Eyes thing, and we all were, a few of us were in there. Larry was playing some chords, Jeff was playing some chords, and it just kind of developed out of that, and then voila. Many years later, people still loving it,
Oh, yeah, I mean, that song alone, Pretty Brown Eyes alone, to me, that song is better than some artists' entire catalog. Because as soon as you hear the drums, as soon as the song starts, like, anywhere in the world, as soon as you play that and you hear that, dun-dun, it's just, the crowd just goes crazy because it's just it's that groove.
Yeah. It sounded different than everything on the radio at that time, too,
Yeah.
Yeah.
In 1993, the group released From the Mint Factory. For me personally, I feel like that album is you guys is off the wall.
Mm-hmm.
It's dope. It got love, but it really didn't get the love that it should have gotten. So what was the experience working like on that album?
That was primarily an album about we just really trying to, to express ourselves. A second album, it was like, okay, we got one under our belt, on this level. And there were just so many gems on there, so many amazing songs, that people still love. A lot of people say that's their favorite. The one after that, that's their favorite. So yeah, I don't know. There were just so many things. Swinging. There were so many other. Someone to love. So many great. We just had a great time making it and just having fun, man. You really don't realize what you're doing sometimes. You just are in that zone, and we're touring and we're recording, and we just have a lot of fun up in there, And those are the results, All
right, so 96, you guys dropped the third album, Definition of a Band. Personally, I feel like Definition of a Band is you guys' is Thriller. If second album was You're Off the Wall, then Definition of a Band to me is you guys' is Thriller. Because, that album was that was my freshman year of high school, and just when it came out, it was so fresh. And, 96 was a big year for R&B, but that third album, though, you guys really went in on the third album. One of my favorite songs on that album is Let Me Be the One, one of the songs you wrote. Can you give me some background on that one?
Lawrence Waddell, he spearheaded that one. That was we actually did that one for this HBO series, and then did that one make it? I'm not sure if it made it. No, it didn't. So we kept that song, and it just became an amazing effort, amazing offering for y'all. We did a remix with Tribe called Quest. We did this. Actually, we got you heard that one with Tiff and Fight Dog. We did both 2-minute remixes. Really amazing. So really glad to have that moment, shared with them as well.
Yeah, man, Let Me Be the One, brother. That song right there is like, if any song can get a guy out of the friend zone, it's that song right there. like real facts. That is the one song that will get you out of the friend zone with a young lady.
Yeah, we got more of them that puts you out of the friend zone and keep you in another area.
that you're dealing with.
Friend is good, but if you want to be, go a little bit deeper, we had that too. So, yeah, absolutely.
All right, between Life's Aquarium and Live in Luxury Brown, you all took a 6-year recording hiatus as a group. Did you ever flirt with doing a solo album back then, or were you just doing session work and just enjoying life?
People always ask me to do when all the labels and everything is between every album. But I liked Rosetta, just like what we were saying, and it's just different enough. I like being a part of that collaborative effort. It was a big world for me, for all of us. And, at that time, it was just, sometimes you have to have a hiatus. At the time, Kerry had went on to get married at that time. And then so he had left and, pursued his other things that he wanted to do in his life. And that would kind of change the sound a little bit. So we took a break and was trying to figure out how to move, which way. And then also, too, trying to figure out between those two albums, things were changing. MP3s were coming in, where music was going, that kind of thing. So after that, you realize it was like an independent thing. We decided to do like a DVD because people hadn't seen us. And, it was just like really an incredible opportunity for us to show that, So that is there. People always reference that and like, oh, man, I go back. I was in high school. I was coming out of this and going into that kind of thing. It was just kind of a reference for, bands playing live and, just having something for people to really, that's part of our legacy. So it was an amazing moment. But, yeah.
And around that time, I was in the Air Force, and I was stationed in the UK. And I'm like, I was one of the few cats bumping, you guys' stuff and, the Living Luxury Brown album. And, what I would find is people on the bass that were my age, that 20 to like 29 age bracket really wouldn't give you guys the love that you got, but like the British people and the Jamaicans and the older crowd would like, Mint has something new out. I'm like, yeah, man, Mint has something new out. Like, go pick it up. Like the album is, it's cool. Like, go check it out.
Yeah.
All right, I just wanted to throw that out there. Yeah, because like I said, Mint Condition, man. When I used to make my in my DJing days, when I would make my little mix CDs, to give out to people, I would always go deep into you guys' catalog and find like a slow cut that that nobody knew, because I'm like, Mint is more than the hits. Like they have songs for days that'll set you up right for the night.
Substance, man, substance.
You got to just
that's right.
Look beyond the radio and look beyond the just the singles. Like one of the biggest songs in the UK that always got a lot of love from the ladies was the So Fine remix, Straight from the 9-4.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like they used to go crazy in the club when I played that, because I was the one to really like put that out there. I'm like, yeah, check this out. Like, this is what you need to be playing for these young ladies. All right, so moving on.
Set it up.
My first time singing you live was 2007 at the Birchmere in Alexandria, VA. I had no idea that you could pop and lock and play instruments. What instruments do you play besides the drums?
Oh, right. Yeah, man. We like to have fun, man, and just, switch it up, flip it on you. Just when you think you got it, switch somewhere else. That's what an artist is supposed to do, kind of take you on a ride, Do
you play any other instruments besides the drums?
Yeah, little keys, little guitars, steel pan, no horn instruments. I'll attempt to. I'm like a song out of anything if you can, leave me with it long enough. I'll get something out of it. Each instrument for me has one song, at least.
Who are some of the hip-hop artists now that you like to work with?
So many, too many, man. Many different genres, A lot of folks that it's a lot of folks. I'd love to work with her. I think she's brilliant at what she's doing. I like to work with this cat out of New Orleans, Lucky Day. Amazing.
Yeah, Lucky Day's doing it.
Yeah, she's killing, man, doing it. What else, man? There's so many people, man. So many to mention. Rhapsody, I love. I think she's out of North Carolina, or something like that. Yeah. So many, man. So many to mention as far as like some of the younger folks out here doing it. Just amazing. Burning the torch, keeping it going. Yeah.
With the coronavirus going on right now, what are 3 films you would view to pass the time if you're locked up in the house on quarantine?
Deep Cover. I just off the top of the head. Got to go hit that classic Deep Cover. Let's see. I've been wanting to see. Actually, it's funny. I want to see Purple Rain over. Classic films, and Enter the Dragon, all old classic, Bruce Lee. I love martial arts too.
Oh yeah, I figured you say Purple Rain, man. Being from Minnesota, I'm the same way. Purple Rain can come on TV, and I will stop what I'm doing and watch it from start to finish. And anytime it's showing on the big screen up here in my area, I make sure to go see it on the big screen, because it's something different about seeing that movie, in a theater with a crowd than seeing it at home. I mean, it's still a classic, but seeing it with a crowd is like a totally different experience.
Right. Experience, yeah. It's been a while since I've seen it. I figured, you know what? I just came to my mind when we were talking about, so that'd be a good one to take off. So it's been up quite a minute. Mm-hmm.
Speaking on Prince passed in 2016. Since then, you've done a few shows with his band, The Revolution. Do you recall where you were at when you found out that Prince passed away?
Absolutely. We were actually doing a show that night with one half of Floetry and Marsha Ambrosius. And we were in, I always get this wrong, Philly, I believe. I think it was Philly. And we were starting getting calls and everything that, there's some police, there's a bunch of newscasts in front of Paisley. We're like, why is there a bunch of people like there were like an unusual amount of service people? And it's like, what's going on? And they figured looked like somebody died. And we were like, no, it can't be him. It's probably somebody else, So, yeah, we were out in the East Coast, man. Had a gig that night, and that was a really, really tough show. Really, really tough show.
Yeah, even now, man, it's still one of them things. Like, you knew. I don't care who you are. It's like, even if you didn't like Prince, which is going to be rare, but you know where you were when you found out. I mean, I was in Miami during the going to cruise, and like I remember my phone just going off, and I'm like nah, man, somebody's did a hoax. So I'm calling back to the States trying to figure out what's going on, and yeah, man, it's a huge loss to the music community. Huge loss.
Huge. The light definitely dimmed way down for me. It's as far as the world got a little dimmer.
And he's another one. I mean, Prince is another one to where, I'll always tell people, like, Prince is somebody, man, that some of his best stuff was never even on the radio. And I'm like,
yeah, that's right.
That's right. This dude's catalog is so thick.
That's the thing. It's his B-sides, his deep cuts, eventually were as big as some of his biggest hits. You know what I mean?
His catalog is crazy. And, like, whatever you're going through in life, Prince has a song for you. Like, so.
Oh, yeah, he got a song for that. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, I mean,
absolutely.
And people give me the side eye, but when I'm like, one of the reasons why I put Prince ahead of Michael was because of the slow stuff. Like, it's nothing in Mike's catalog. It's nothing in Mike's catalog that comes close to touching Adore or Scandalous or Insatiable. I'm like, Prince is just Prince is on another level. Right. No disrespect to Mike, but I mean, Prince is on another level.
I'd say a different level. I don't even say it's not better. It's just it's just different. I love both of them just because it's like
Mike, so do I.
We came up with him, and I felt like he's always been there. You know what I mean? Since it's like, man, he represented us. On Cartoon Saturday, you just used to look for that. Him and the Snake and his brothers and sisters, and when they came here the first time I seen, might have been my first concert here, seeing them, the white suits. I remember that. Then seeing Prince actually growing up here, watching his growth. Seeing him at the movie theater, just different. Two different paths, but amazing, great artists. The same time, we feel so lucky, people that have lived to actually see their concerts, experience when it was happening in real time. There's nothing like it. I mean, we had some of the probably the best artists to ever live at the same time. Amazing. That's
one of my biggest regrets is not getting a chance to see him live when he was in his when he was in D.C. Like I forgot what I was doing, but I missed one of his last shows, and I still kick myself today for not seeing Prince live, not seeing Luther live before Luther passed away. And it's like I had a chance to go see them live, but I didn't do it. So now, anytime somebody, who's a bit older in the game is a legend, I make sure that I go see them live because, you never know. Tomorrow's not promised to nobody. So you want to make sure that some of these artists, you go see them live just so you can say, I had a chance to see them live before, they passed away, or I had a chance to see them live before they retired, or, because you never know.
That's right. That's right, man. Crazy.
All right. In my research, I found out that you played percussion on the New Edition song "One More Day" for their reunion album. Do you recall anything about that session?
There's so many different sessions. If you look at my resume, there's a lot of those sessions. I guess I was the unofficial, the residential drummer at Flight Time. So what was happening is they had so much work coming in from everywhere, from every, record company asking them to produce for different artists. I never knew what song or what artist. Sometimes I would. I was playing for sometimes some Janet stuff or, New Edition because you'd hear the voices or, whatever. It was just kind of like I wouldn't know where it was ending up. If I didn't hear any vocals, if we just cut music, I wouldn't know what it was for, but a lot of those sessions were just whether it be percussion or drums or background vocals, whatever they had me doing. It was always fun. Sometimes I would ask them, don't even tell me. I didn't want to know. I just want to kind of find out. And people would get calls. I'd get calls like, oh, man, you on this song? It's like, what song is that? You on this Usher song? I was like, oh, okay, yeah, I remember that one song.
I'm looking at your resume right now. Johnny Gill, Karen White, Sounds of Blackness, Color Me Bad, Solo, Usher, and Nesby. You work with Luther, Casey and JoJo, Elton John, like Tony Braxton, off the charts, bro.
Yeah, man. I mean, you do this thing long enough, man, that's what happens. You just, it's just, you start to work with, your work precedes you, your reputation. So, I pride myself on really doing what I do. People love it, resonates with them. So, yeah, I'm just so thankful to be in a spot where my talents have been, first of all, recognized and nurtured, and also, appreciated, by jamming with the Flight Time family and prospective family. So, yes, that's what we do.
I'm a big fan of musical biopics. Is there any musician story you would like to see on the big screen?
Ooh, man, I still want to see. I know there's been quite a few done of Miles Davis, but nothing comes close to the book, of course. His autobiography, would be amazing. And a real one in my brain, in my mind, I've got the Prince biopic. It's like, oh, man, it's amazing. In my head, it's amazing. But Miles Davis would be amazing. I would love to see. I'm talking about ones that would be like really a comprehensive. It would have to be a series, actually. Maybe 10 episodes, something at least. Bob Marley. There's so many, man. There's a lot of folks who would love to see that. Just their whole story, the beginning, how they were with the family, their training or practice methods, what inspired them. That kind of thing. So too many to mention. I can go on for days about who would be.
Oh yeah, no, I'm the same way. Even with Prince, I like Prince's story. Prince like Michael, to where you want to see the entire story, but with Prince, you could just focus on the symbol era and make that a story about artists trying to get their fair share of royalties. And with Michael, you can just focus on the stuff with Gamble and Huff when they left Motown. That in itself is a story.
You know what? I think that's probably both of those shows those are two separate shows. It's not even a series. That's like an ongoing thing.
Yeah.
Because they have enough story where it's like, man, this could go on for, my goodness, I don't even know. That could be 100 episodes each.
Yeah, because even with the New Edition story, as good as it was, they still didn't scratch the surface of like everything they could have really including.
These
they
cats
left
have
out
been
a lot of
around
stuff.
30-some years. It's amazing. So, to tell that, it's TV. You got to get it kind of and compress it down a little bit where people can really get it. So, I understand. But, yeah, man, that would be amazing.
Do you have any plans to reunite with the boys from Condition anytime soon, or are you focusing on your solo stuff right now?
Yeah, pretty much focus on what I'm doing now, because I'm just getting some legs up under me, really, because it's most of the time and most of our energy has been focused on the last, I guess for me, over 30 years, almost 34, 35 years almost. Come time I got some other gears I want to explore, and so do they. They got some other things I want to do, and other, and that just takes up, of course, that's your life when you do something like that, and we share our gifts together and share with the world, and you travel and you record and everything. So, now I see sometimes you have to really figure out, what's for you kind of thing. And I think that's where we're all beginning to see that and do that now. So I know that nobody likes their favorite thing to go away, for sure. Where a lot of people feel. You swallow it, you want to have that pleasure, you want to have that good feeling. And for now, you just have to rock with the records. We left some great stuff. So at some point, hopefully, but right now, we feel like we're just kind of spreading our wings and getting our legs up under us with the projects that we're working on, the other avenues that we're exploring. So yeah, for now, that's where we're at. Yeah.
Well, I'm a fan regardless, man. I had a chance to see your live show 2017 when you were in Bethesda, when you were promoting the first solo album. Your band that you had backing you for that show with me, they were bad. So it's like, for me, it's like, I can tell that, that you're a musician because you actually took time to get the right band. And it's like, watching you on stage, I don't play any instruments, but just going to so many concerts, like, just the cues that you were doing with your fingers and, like, the eye moves and everything, you could tell it's like, this dude actually cares about his stage, so, he wants to give you your money's worth. He's not going to give you a piss poor live show where it's just about the check. And a lot of artists, I'm not going to say any names, but a lot of artists, they don't have that same type of rapport for their fans where, you know, they're going to give you the best. Even if it's only 25 minutes, you still give an A1 performance.
Gotcha.
25 minutes.
Well, that's kind of what because some people call the microwave generation, where it's quick and it's flashy and it's, you know, pretty, but there ain't no substance there. So a lot of folks, they just, you know, learn to record or, you know, in the room, and it's like they don't really put much value in live show or having that connection other than just walking back and forth, and it's just not much imagination to it. So, I mean, you're right. I feel like people just be phoning their stuff in. So I'm like, you know, I want to make sure that the live show, my connection, my interaction, or my conversation with the audience is much deeper and broader, and they can really get into what's, you know, you can bring them into your world. This is what I try to do. So, and making sure that, you know, find the best musicians and who understand that. And I'm at the point, too, I'm just trying to find folks who really want to do this thing and just people of like mind. That's all it is. And people who are talented and also have a good spirit about them that resonates. And people can tell that when you go and have that conversation with them musically, you know, the show. So it's always going to be that. It's always going to be high energy. It's going to be a journeys that I take you through. And, man, that's just my view of things. That's what I named the band, The View, so that's why. And also, because we turned up volume unit.